Hello and welcome to F1 Livery Histories, the channel where we take a look back at the different paint jobs, racing trims and sponsor decals adopted by respective Formula 1 teams throughout the eras. Today we'll be taking account of one of the most successful and time-honoured constructors in all of open wheel motorsport, an organisation which competed in Formula 1 not only as a bona fide works team, but also enjoyed success as a manufacturer which supplied vehicles on a customer basis. March. March Engineering was founded in 1969 by Max Mosley, Alan Rees, Graham Coker and Robin Hurd. These four men would spearhead the March team's entry into motorsport's top division, with the name of the team being an acronym derived from each of their initials. Within the space of only 4 months, March would produce its first Formula 1 chassis, the successful 701 model, which would make its debut in Formula 1 in 1970, under the auspices of both March Engineering and various privateer teams. Along with its Formula 1 commitments, March Engineering would also produce cars for Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula Ford and Can-Am, making the Oxfordshire-based company one of the largest manufacturers of open-wheel racing cars in the world, almost overnight. So begins our retrospective on the celebrated March Grand Prix racing team. Title sponsorship for the all-new March Grand Prix team came from American lubricants company STP, which saw the March 701 hit the track in season 1970 sporting a bright red livery. The works March 701 ran with Ford DFV power, with tyres and fuel supplied to the team by Firestone and BP. Additional sponsorship also came in the form of cigarette brand Marlboro and watchmakers Hoyer. Chris Amon would secure the March team its maiden win at the 1970 Daily Express Trophy, held at Silverstone. Jackie Stewart, piloting the 701, would become the first driver to pilot a March-built car to a championship victory when he took the checkered flag at Jarama driving a customer March 701 for the Tyrrell team. Thanks in some part to the success of Tyrrell, along with 3 podium positions scored by works driver Chris Amon, March would clinch 3rd position in the World Constructors' standings during its debut season. The following season the team would race with the 711 chassis, present with its rather distinguishable elliptical front wing. The car ran with both Ford DFV and on occasion Alfa Romeo engines throughout the year. Ronnie Peterson would steer the 711 to 5 podium positions throughout 1971, on his way to finishing 2nd in the drivers' standings. Sadly, 1971 would also bring the untimely passing of one of the team's founding members, Graham Coker. In 1972, March made the change to Goodyear tyres and Fina fuels, entering the 721, 721X and 721G chassis. The team also picked up additional sponsorship in the form of Levi's Jeans, Arnold, Wheatcroft and Vic. Ahead of the 1973 season, Alan Rees switched to become team manager of the fledgling Shadow Racing team, leaving Mosley and Hurd as the sole remaining founders. For season 1973, March reverted back to Shell fuels, racing with the 731, a car which proved to be the final March entrant, painted in STP's bright shade of red. The 1973 season though would bear witness to tragedy, when Roger Williamson was killed during the Dutch Grand Prix. In 1974, March returned with the 741 chassis, pioneering an unprecedented livery concept, which saw the team competing with 4 separate sponsors' liveries throughout the season. Hans-Joachim Stuck competed with Jägermeister sponsorship, Vittorio Brambilla competed with an orange Beta Tools sponsored car, Howden Ganley raced with a primarily green livery, whilst Ren Marcel piloted a car featuring a Vastkus Stuggen livery. The following season, Vittorio Brambilla would register the March team's first championship victory, taking out the Austrian Grand Prix behind the wheel of the March 751. It was during season 1975 that March added another livery to their collection, as Lella Lombardi competed with a red and white livery which promoted the coffee brand Lavazza. By finishing 6th at the Spanish Grand Prix, Lombardi became the first woman to score a championship point in Formula 1. This trend in liveries would continue into 1976, as the team began signing sponsorship deals on a race-by-race basis. Throughout the season, March cars would compete painted in the colours of First National, the Monaco Fine Arts Gallery, Avoro, as well as a host of white sponsor-friendly liveries. Ronnie Peterson would capture the team its final Grand Prix win, triumphing at Monza behind the wheel of the 761 chassis. During the 1976-77 off-season, March built and tested the unraced 6-wheeled 240 chassis. However, March's sponsorship woes would continue into 1977, as the team continued to teeter between a list of short-term agreements. Throughout season 1977, Rothmans, Lexington and Hollywood were all brought in as team sponsors, as the team raced with the 761B and 771 chassis. Following 1977, Max Mosley would depart from March, shifting his focus to his role within the Formula One Constructors Association, and sold his shares in the team to Robin Herd. From 1978, March would take a hiatus from Formula One, concentrating on running the Works BMW team in Formula 2. In 1981, March made a return to Formula One, this time managed by Mike Ralph and John McDonald's Ram Racing, fielding the DFV-powered 811 chassis, which ran with both Avon and Michelin tyres throughout the season. The car came painted in the classic colour scheme of major sponsors Guinness. Alongside Guinness, March also attained support throughout various stages of the season from a list of minor sponsors, such as Rizla, ICI, Rainbow Jeanswear, Sauce, Mangles Wheels, Milan Rouge and Joker. March's relationship with Guinness would prove to be a limited affair, as in 1982 March lost the patronage of St James's Gate, reverting to a chiefly black livery for the beginning of the season. The team produced the 821 chassis, the final March Formula One car designed by Robin Herd. Midway into the year, the team re-signed with former sponsors Rothmans, which saw the cars adopt a new livery, which incorporated Rothmans' trademark company branding. ICI also returned to sponsor the team, securing a place on both the car's nose cone and engine case, whilst publication Newsweek appeared on the rear wing. At races held in tobacco ban countries, Rothmans would take on the moniker Racing. March would also field a third car during season 1982, piloted by Emilio de Villota, which featured sponsorship from LBT and the Spanish Tourism Board. In spite of the team's unique and vibrant character on track, results for the Ram March outfit up until this point had been poor, leading Ram Racing to go it alone in Formula One, as March withdrew from the sport once again. Commencing in season 1987, March returned to the Formula One grid for the third and final time, firstly as a single-car entrant, with Ivan Capelli behind the wheel. For the season-opening race at Yacarapagua, the team raced with the 87B chassis, March's F3000 car upgraded to F1 specifications, before debuting the all-new 871. There was an air of optimism surrounding the rebooted March team at this point in time, accurately reflected by the team's eye-catching livery, as March raced in a chiefly aqua-coloured strip, in deference to major sponsors, Japanese real estate firm Leighton House. The team also attracted German car alarms manufacturer Cobra as sponsors, as seen on the engine case, whilst Shell and Goodyear were signed aboard as technical partners. Over the course of the next few seasons, Leighton House would play a significant role in the venture, purchasing outright control of the team heading into 1988. Leighton House March would expand to 2 cars for the 1988 season, producing the highly successful 881 chassis, designed by Adrian Newey. 1988 saw the team switching to Judd engines and Mobil fuels, whilst accumulating new sponsors in the form of Osama, Diavia, Amic, Identicar, Fabry and Diesel. The 881 was retained for the first few races of 1989, before the team produced the CG891 chassis. 1989 also saw the team switching to BP fuels, which brought upon the addition of BP's company colour to the livery, as the car's airbox and nose cone were recoloured green. Carglass also secured a spot on the engine case, and would promote sister companies Autoglass and O'Brien's Glass at various races. In 1990 the team raced solely as Leighton House Racing, dropping the March name from its official team title. However, the team would continue to race with March-built chassis, fielding the CG901 with an unchanged team livery. In 1991 the team switched to Ilmor engines for the newly commissioned CG911 chassis. However, 1991 would see Leighton House's ownership of the team reach its conclusion, as following the arrest of Leighton House owner Akira Akagi on charges of fraud, the team was sold on to a consortium led by Ken Marable, John Byfield, Tony Birchfield, Gustav Brunner and Henry Vollenberg. The team would revert back to racing under the March Grand Prix banner for 1992, entering the revised CG911B. With the departure of Leighton House, March would sign a new list of sponsors in Oliveto, Rizla, Blaupunkt, Real, Motorola, DeLonghi and Sonax, among many others. The team would however retain its bright and unique aqua livery as it pressed forward. Following the 1992 season, efforts were once again made to offload the March team to a new investor. Sadly, these plans would fail to materialise, and despite showing up to the 1993 season opener in South Africa, a lack of an engine deal, nor any significant finance, saw the March Formula One team closing its doors for the final time.